How do you do? Yet another interesting week regarding on the workflow improvements when creating music. This time it's about native instrument, and what they have actually done is that they have introduced a new firmware to the Komplete Kontrol MK3 S devices. So now you can actually control the plugins from the keyboard itself in different digital audio workstations. And let's take a peek on how it works with the currently supported ones, where you have basically Ableton, Logic Pro, Cubase, and then you have Bitwig. So let's check it out, how the support looks like in these different digital audio workstations, and actually what does it really mean. So let's dive into it and see how it can help you in your music creation workflow. Okay, so let's dive into Ableton Live and see what the integration with Ableton Live means. They basically said that now they have introduced this firmware 2, where you actually can control plugins. And of course, in a previous version, you've been able to control the NKS plugins that are native instrument standard for plugin integration. But now with this update, you actually can control any plugin. And with any plugin, it means that, for example, if I go to the previous track where I have an auto filter, I can basically, work and control now the Ableton Live native devices, but then also I can control the third-party plugins like from FabFilter or any brand. I tested actually a few and it works nice, it maps everything, and of course if you have more parameters you can scroll those parameters from here to here. You can select the plugin from here. If you have an audio device that is having multiple devices within it, or audio in that sense, you can also expand it and close it, and then of course you can select that. With this one, they of course they had already previously, they had the transport control and the mixer here, which was integrated, but the new thing was that now you can actually control the plugins. And then if I go into for example, let's see, let's go here, if I want to control Waves plugins, it works. So I have tested already several plugins and it works nicely with native Ableton plugins, but also with third-party plugins. So this is actually quite nice workflow improvement, because now you can actually play, you can tweak your parameters in your plugins, you can add basically compression and whatnot. So you can easily now do everything within the Komplete Kontrol. And specifically this is on this update is of course only for the MK3 devices and S in that respect. But anyway, this is Ableton. Let's next check out how it works in Logic Pro. Okay, so let's look into Logic Pro X and the Komplete Kontrol integration with Logic Pro. Similarly as in Ableton Live, they have had the transport control already with basically the integration, but now, and you've been of course able to work with the NKS plugins, but now when I press here, I actually get into the plugins, and now I can start control the plugin directly from the control as in Ableton. Also I can go from a channel to another. So now in this case I have a channel where I have Pro Q, Pro L, and gain. The one thing that is different here, of course, in Logic Pro is that with this type of a setup, what I have in Logic Pro in this more complex project, it also brings the plugin in front of you, so you can easily then work with it and you see what are you doing. So you can easily tweak parameters in your EQ, or so on and so forth. Then of course, if I go into a previous track where I only have one plugin, they also support smart controls here with Logic Pro. But then, and of course, if I go to an instrument where I have Alicia's keys, for example, then again with the NKS support, you see that you know the interface is a bit different, but anyway, the great thing is that now you can directly from here control the plugins, and you can, you know, jump to the one that you want to tweak, if you want to adjust the gain or so on and so forth. So pretty awesome integration with Logic as well, and it makes your workflow more fluent if you and when you have the Komplete Kontrol MK3S. All right, next one we will look into the Cubase. Okay, so when using the Komplete Kontrol with Cubase, I actually didn't need to do anything. It automatically detected native instrument Kontrol S Mark III. So it linked into it, no setup needed, everything went automatically, which is great. And then of course I can have here the DAW control so that I can go from a channel to another. And then if I'm in a mixer and mix console, I can of course deal with the volumes and so on and so forth. Let's see, I actually wanna show also something interesting that I found out that is with Cubase integration specifically. Now if I go into the DAW mode and I start to play, you see that the color of this volume and in your mixer, what you have here is actually following the color of your tracks. So that's actually pretty interesting in that respect. So you see that there is now a blue one. So I have there my OB recorded. Then I can go into the plugin and I can work with the silver or Pro Q. I can adjust it. Here also the thing is that I do need to open the plugin in order to see it. So I can select it and manage it, but it doesn't pop up automatically. Anyway, the mixer here is also pretty awesome in that respect. So that let's go and select, for example, one more channel where I have a percussionist. There is some vocals. Let's go no here, for example, again to show that when you have, for example, an NKS plugin, then it let you kind of work with it directly on this interface. Then, of course, you can also follow up with your plugins and everything that relates to that. Or then the next one, if you want to do some saturation and so on and so forth. So again, here also the integration is extremely good, solid. I've been testing also, you know, the different devices, like own devices from Cubase, as well as, you know, the devices that are third party. Like in this channel, I have a red light district which is from Studio One, and then I have the volume control here, which is a native plugin from Steinberg and from Cubase. So I can here also, as with Logic Pro and Ableton, work with the DAW plugins directly natively from this control, NKS plugins, as well as third-party plugins. So it's pretty awesome integration also with Cubase. And if you have this, it will make your workflow hopefully a lot more smoother, because you don't need to jump into the mouse. You can control the plugin directly from your keyboard. So avoiding, and then of course you have also the touch and tactile support in all of these DAWs. Okay, let's next jump into the Bitwig. Okay, so last one to check out integration with Bitwig. Again, you can control the the DAW and transport control, so you can play, you can stop, you can record directly from the keyboard. You can turn the metronome on, off. All those things work like in previously. And then, but what the new is, as said also with other digital audio workstation already, that you can now control the plugins, being those third-party plugins. So for example, I have now the LA2A here, or then if I have the native control on basically on the native device, or kind of the DAW devices. So for example, I have a delay here that I can then control the delay directly. So again, with Bitwig, it has basically an ability to control third-party plugins, the ones that come with the DAW, so the kind of factory plugins. But then also, if you have the NKS like NKS instruments, then you have a full integration as in other digital audio workstations that I showed. All in all, also with Bitwig, again, this integration is pretty awesome, and you can pretty much then control any plugins directly from your keyboard, also with Bitwig. And yeah, so I think that makes it pretty awesome. So let's see actually what if there is also here the color is kind of like following the track. Well, it is, yeah. So interestingly, if I change the track color also follows in the mixer. So that's pretty neat. It also most likely is with Logic as well. So you can easily see that this is, for example, your strings. If you use certain color with strings, you can see it. Okay, so it's -10, but I need to basically maybe raise the volume a bit or whatnot. So again, nice integration with Bitwig as well. So I need to give a thumbs up for Native Instruments of doing this for the Komplete Kontrol controllers. For those who have it, it will hopefully improve and make your workflow and specifically keeping the creative mode fluent, because now you don't need to jump into the mouse. You can go directly here, tweak the parameters, and then focus on creating music and not playing with your mouse. One way of looking at it. So yeah. Okay, so now okay, so if you are Ableton, Logic Pro, Cubase or Bitwig user, you can rush into Native Instrument website to update this firmware, because it will make your keyboard pretty awesome and help you with the workflow. They also support Digital Performer, but I don't have that digital audio workstation in my collection of digital audio workstations, so I can't demonstrate that. They also mentioned that soon they will support Pro Tools Studio One and others, so you can check out also that from their website. This is not a commercial, they are not paying me anything regarding on it. I'm just doing this for the love of the music and how to improve your workflow. Hopefully you liked the video, gives you some ideas, how to utilize these tools when creating music. So please like my videos, because that helps me in many ways. And then also remember to subscribe to get the latest news regarding on the what's going on in the device world, specifically focusing on the workflow improvements and how to kind of make it smooth. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye now. See you next time.